Welcome to another video, and in today's video we're going to be checking out the brand new facelifted Toyota Fortuner in a bit of a vlog style. So we're trying something new. I hope you enjoy. But before we start this review, let's go for a quick montage. Montage over. Let's go take this Fortuner for a drive. Okay, so what's a Toyota Fortuner like to drive? And the first thing I've noticed, which is probably what makes this car so popular and loved by so many people, is just the driving comfort and the driving position. You're almost sitting in a throne here. You're above all the cars around you. You're very comfortable. The seats are hugging you on the sides. Your arms are comfy on the sides here. It's very Land Rover Discovery-esque, if I can say that. So that's a really good thing. But it's also the power delivery, and this is the top spec unit. It's a 2.8 litre 4-cylinder turbo diesel that puts out 150 kilowatts and 500 newton meters of torque, and that power delivery is really good. It's smooth, it doesn't lag too much. You also have got drive modes down here in the middle for eco, normal and sport, and that's kind of pretty self-explanatory. Sport's going to just make the car a little bit more tighter and sharper. Normal's going to just bring that down so that it's more of a generic driving experience, and then eco is where it's going to obviously make the car a bit softer, so your accelerator is not going to be as sharp, and it's going to try and force you to save some fuel. And speaking of the fuel consumption, I've been averaging between about 9.5 and about 10 liters per 100 kilometers. I don't know who ever got 7.6. I know that's closer to what Toyota have been claiming, but I haven't been able to get anywhere near there. And it is a good cabin to actually be sitting in and driving in. As I've said, it's very comfortable. The driver's steering wheel is wrapped in leather. You've got this, I'm guessing is going to be type of plastic, but more of like a wood trim, which has got a little like silver grain running through it, which you can also see down here on the center console, and I quite like it. It's quite comfortable. It's actually really grippy up at the top there on this plastic part, which is nice, so when you are turning around you do get a good grip on the steering wheel. And you've got all of the buttons that you could need on the steering wheel to navigate through the minimal menu that you've got here in front, as well as to manage your cruise control, which you can also activate on the stalk just underneath the buttons. This car also comes with what I think is an 11 speaker audio system, which is okay. It doesn't have the bass and that bottom end grunt that you would get from, I think, some of the competing SUVs in this category, but it's nice to at least look at your speakers and they say JBL, because that's quite cool. But I did find that the 12 speaker audio setup in the Mahindra Scorpio N was better than what this Fortuner gives. And if you do feel like being adventurous, this is obviously a 4x4, and being able to operate the 4x4 settings is also very easy. Down at the bottom here you can lock your diff, you can also turn off your ESP, you've got downhill descent control, you've got everything you need to take this Fortuner off-road and have a lot of fun with it. And with this being a bucky based SUV, it is obviously a body on frame construction, and normally you would feel a lot of jiggle and like that sort of thing between the actual body and the like subframe of the car, but I haven't found it to be too bad in this car. And because it needs to be a 4x4 and be strong enough to go off-road, the suspension isn't too hard either. So driving on the road is actually really smooth, and the suspension just eats up those speed bumps and potential potholes and anything like that on the road. And I'm also quite confident in saying that it feels like it's driving like a normal car. It doesn't feel like it's driving like a bucky. And because this is a vlog style review, you're going to come with me as I go into the shopping center now. So I do need to go pick up some medicine. I'm not sure if you can hear or not, but I do have a bit of a cold. So let's go and see how this Toyota Fortuner can handle a parking lot. It is a big car, so navigating through a parking lot might be a little bit challenging, but let's have a look and see what that's like. Alright, let's go park somewhere where no one's going to bump the car. This car does have a 360-degree camera system, so that would normally help you with parking too. So you do get a top-down view. where you're able to see the lines next to your car and all of that. And then you've obviously got the front and back views as well, where you can see if you are far enough from a wall or the car behind you or anything like that. So not too bad, but the quality of these cameras is just not on par with the price that you're paying for this car. What they've or what it feels like they've literally done here is taken webcams from the early 90s and stuck them around the car, because that's the quality that you're getting on the screen from those cameras. In today's day and age, unfortunately, there's no excuse for that. Okay, got what we needed. Now we move on. Cup holder. And there's more, I'll show you just now. Toyotas everywhere, look there. And another one here. Toyota Country. And then in terms of specifications and pricing, there are various options that you can get this Fortuner in, from 4x2s to 4x4s to manual transmissions to these automatic transmissions. You can get two-tone roofs, and the pricing for this Fortuner range starts at just under 675,000 Rand, but I'll put all of the pricing on screen for you to have a look at. Okay, now let's go look at the exterior of the car. And again, because this is a vlog style, you're coming with me. So this is what the brand new Toyota Fortuner looks like from the outside, as you saw briefly there at the shopping center. And I must say, I'm a huge fan of it. You've got these brand new designs here that make it angular, sporty, luxurious and modern. And they have found a way to bring it into the 21st century. Even though this is an old platform, it's still an old Fortuner base, but they've made it still look good. You've got like these quad style daytime running lights in the front here. You've got all of the gloss black accents that add to all of the angles to make this car look so aggressive from the front. And this is the perfect angle of the car. It looks really, really cool. And then coming down the side of the car, you do have these 18-inch two-tone wheels, and the whole range comes with 18-inch wheels. You've then got the side steps, you've got these chrome door handles, and then the iconic Toyota Fortuner rear window, which if you see that, you immediately think of a Fortuner. So I love that that is still prominent on the car. And then coming around the back of the car, they have given it updated rear tail lights. You've got your 4x4 badging here to tell you exactly which car you're driving. And then on the side here, it's going to tell you you've got the 2.8 liter. This is the GD-6 and it's the VX, so it's the top spec. And then looking at more of the detailing that's new, you've got the Fortuner badging in gloss black. You've also got these side fake vents on the side here, but from the rear, it does make the car look a little bit wider than what it is. So that's quite cool. And then obviously more gloss black on this diffuser. And because we're in South Africa, the spare wheel. And while we're around the back, let's go take a look at what makes this Fortuner special. And that comes down to the fact that this is a 7-seater. And because it's a Fortuner, they are famous for putting these 7 seats. Oh, sorry about the beeping. And because this is a Fortuner, all of your seats lock up and go up to the side there. And they do hook up really nicely too. You've got that hook over there that kind of lodges it back up there, and it's very, very easy to operate. And then to bring the seats back up again, you simply do that. Yeah, pretty cool. And then you've still got quite a bit of space here for whatever you are traveling with. If you've got the 7 people in here, more than enough space for your luggage. Okay, let's take a look at the inside of the Toyota Fortuner. And right in front of you, you've got a leather steering wheel with some red stitching. And just to point out what are some of the new features on this facelift is pretty much everything that's maroon. So that's the only real new difference in this model year of car. So it's going to be the red trim, the maroon leather over there, some more stitching over here on the doors, as well as these maroon inserts on the seats. And that goes through to the back as well. Looking more at the steering wheel, here's those buttons I was speaking about. And you've obviously got the paddle shifters. And then here is the instrument cluster. And you get a cool little animation when you start the car up. But it is very analog here. And I am a fan of analog dials. But when you're looking at a car that's this price and is in so much demand and so popular, you need to be updating it accordingly. and to have a screen that's only that big and doesn't have much customization is a little bit weird. But again, it gets the job done, and hopefully in the next Fortuner they're gonna knock our socks off with that instrument cluster. And then looking at the infotainment, the screen here that's in most other Toyotas, but again, you can't do too much on it. You can look at some of the stats of the car. You've got everything from your audio to some settings and that sort of thing. And then you can also see the reverse camera, which, as I mentioned, is not that good. So we will quickly forget about that. And then a little bit further down, you do have your climate control. Again, very analog here, full of buttons. I like it, so that can pass. And then down here, you've then got your USB. You've got your heated seats here for your passenger and for you, your downhill descent control, and a 12-volt socket to charge anything else that you might need. And when going off-road, this is where you can change between your high range, your low range, and everything like that. So again, everything is easy to navigate just at the simple push or turn of a dial. And then the other elephant in the room, which is this gear shifter. Is almost like a game of Pac-Man to try and find the gear that you need to be in, which is just so bizarre. It is definitely showing its age, especially from this gear shifter and the display in front here. So once they even get those two things sorted out, the interior of this Fortuner will be really good. And then speaking of storage, you do have this hidden glove box over here. You do have another one underneath it. And then there's the cup holders. So you do have two cup holders here in the front, but you have two more. Check it out. One over there and another one over here for the driver. So you can keep your drink cold in front of the aircon. And there's the JBL speaker system that I was speaking about earlier. You can see that they do actually have it branded as JBL, which is a nice touch. You've also got a decently sized bin here underneath the armrest, as well as some more cup holders in each door. And then coming into the rear, all of these seats in the back here are also on rails, which is quite easy. So you're giving yourself more space in the back by simply moving these seats forward, or you can just shift them back again and you've got some more legroom. And speaking of legroom, this is where I'm sitting, and a decently sized fist in front of each knee here. So sitting quite comfortable, and then plenty of headroom above me too, because they've given the roof lining a bit of a dent in here too. So it just gives you more space. And then your passengers in the rear will also be quite comfortable because they can operate the fan and aircon in that from the back too. It's not a climate control because you can't actually adjust the temperature, but you can definitely adjust the fan speed. And then obviously more cup holders down here in the center armrest, which pops out quite cool, just like a Merc does. And then here in the third row of seats, you can see that your passengers do have some storage too, where they can use for cup holders and everything like that, which actually means that this Toyota Fortuner has got 12 cup holders throughout the entire car. And now it's time for the verdict in the form of the GDR test. So should you get the car, should you drive the car, or should you remove it from the list of cars that you're looking at? And I would recommend that you go and drive the car. Go take it for a test drive, go get into the Fortuner, go see if this is the car that you need for your family. Is it the right 7-seater? Are you okay with some of the outdated tech and that sort of thing? I would have recommended that you get it if it was a little bit more modern and updated in here. But I do appreciate Toyota's approach of, if it's not broken, don't fix it, because Toyotas just go on forever. And so we've now come to the end of the Fortuner review in the form of a bit of a vlog. I tried something different. Let me know what you think in the comments. Drop a like below too. And while you're there, make sure that you subscribe so that you don't miss out on any of my videos in the future. And until then, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.